tonight we're in Oakland at a meeting for Community Choice Aggregation, which means local communities choosing where they get their own power versus the way it is now for many communities where they get their energy from investor-owned businesses where the communities have no say where their power comes from. And tonight we're going to talk to some of the people who are involved in trying to get this legislation passed in the Oakland government here.
What we have in Oakland, Berkeley, and Emeryville right now is a private utility, Pacific Gas and Electric, PG&E. And so they own the power plants and the lines, and they do the billing and all that sort of thing. What community choice aggregation or community choice energy is about is it's a hybrid between those two models. Local government, whether it's a city government, a couple of city governments in this case, or a county government, gets to decide what's in the energy mix. They get to decide where the energy comes from, which is key for addressing climate change because they can say, we want more renewable energy. San Francisco is actually moving ahead, and they filed a plan to have 51% renewable energy by 2017, which is much faster than PG&E is moving right now.
PG&E gets about half of its electricity from domestically sourced natural gas. Most of it's from Canada, and that arrives by way of pipeline. That's been happening for decades now. The plan that PG&E is pushing right now is to import natural gas from abroad, from other countries. This would most likely come from the former Soviet Union and the Middle East. And it would require a whole brand new fossil fuel energy infrastructure, which would ultimately replace and probably grow their usage of natural gas. We'd rather see those billions spent on clean energy. We would still be using their infrastructure, their power lines, their gas lines. They would not be selling us the power. So they would still have a role to play, but it would be a smaller role than what they're playing now.
The first community choice aggregation was in Massachusetts on Cape Cod. It still exists. It was formed 10 years ago. It serves about 180,000 customers. The investor-owned utilities serve the investors who earn a rate of return on the infrastructure that's owned by the power companies. A CCA is a nonprofit entity, basically. And so it cuts out the whole profit cost and allows renewable energy to become affordable today in California. We see community choice as positioned in a way that it doesn't have to challenge the profit center of the utility currently serving the customers. And that's because they would continue to own the wires, they continue to own the power plants that they're now making profits off of. The only thing that would be transferred to the community choice aggregation is the buying of the power supply. What we'd like to see is a community that has a lot of solar energy, a lot of wind power, a lot of local cogeneration, which is using the waste heat from industry to generate electricity, and there would be a certain level of self-reliance in energy. People would not feel victimized by a global situation that is too big for them to make a difference in.
I see community choice aggregation as a really exciting, proactive way to build the local green economy in the East Bay, to provide jobs, and also to act on climate change, and at the same time, making sure that we, the people, we the voters, have control over our energy future, which is really key.